异象乍现，天地顿开，散落在历史洪流中的哈嘎之光，召唤着黑皮与皮下组织。在这趟哈嘎宁大迁徙的漫漫旅途中，艺术被创造，世界被连结，历史被推动。究竟这会是趟怎么样的冒险呢？欢迎各位武林中人来到各个客栈卡店，一探究竟。
Hello everyone, welcome to Taiwan Bar. Today, let's talk about Taiwan's hard-fought democracy. In this day and age, we can trash talk on Facebook or diss the government and vote against them. These all seem easy peasy. But the road to Taiwan's democracy wasn't really the smoothest transition. It wasn't like a walk in the park or a piece of sun cake. To get a sense of all this, let's go back to the time when Taiwan had no democracy at all. In 1949, the KMT got their bum-bums whooped by the People's Liberation Army and bounced from China to Taiwan. In order to make Taiwan headquarters for claiming lost territory, KMT built a single-party state to consolidate its political power. What is this single-party state you speak of? Well, you can get a sense of it in the lyrics of our national anthem. 3 principles of the people, the foundation of our party. Our party? Why not our country? Or our people? Why party? And here's a $1 million question. In the 2 following pictures, is the one with the bigger sun A, the national emblem of the ROC, or B, the party emblem of the KMT? I can't really tell the difference. A closer look, you say? Well, how about this? When a single political party is in control of the government and all other parties are quite frankly irrelevant, we grant this kind of country the name Single Party State. So what are the terrors that await under a single party state? And how can Taiwan accelerate to its fate of democracy? Here we go! In 1949, the nationalist government announced the imposition of the Taiwan martial law, thus entering a period of time that everything was forbidden. You want to form a political party? Nope. Publish a newspaper? Nuh-uh. Demonstrate a protest? Nibbity-dope. Eat and sing all night long? Nope. Nuh-uh. Not in 1,000 years. The nationalist government was so deeply worried that Mao Zedong might take over Taiwan that it strengthened its control over Taiwan even more. The Criminal Code of the Republic of China, Article 100, Act for the Control and Punishment of Rebellion, Espionage Act of the Republic of China. These 3 additional laws, plus spies all amongst citizens, turned anyone who is possibly, probably, seemingly, likely, maybe anti-government, pro-communist, or pro-independence into rebels and locked them up. Aside from that, the nationalist government also encouraged Taiwanese to rat each other out. If you hit a rebel, you'd be sentenced as well. So at that time, snitches got riches. Everyone was Judas, and many innocent Taiwanese people were falsely accused of being spies. This government-led suppression is what we call the White Terror. During the White Terror period, more than 20,000 people were imprisoned or executed. It was even more terrifying than the plague during the Japanese rule, and the actual number of the friends and families of those victims remains a mystery to this day. In fact, the Constitution of the ROC has already gone into effect since 1947, but under half a year, the nationalist government stated that in order to fight against Mao Zedong, it was needed to implement temporary provisions effective during the period of communist rebellion. This was a big buff to the president's power and completely nerfed the Constitution into oblivion. Where are you going, Constitution? Another mystery, I guess. In 1949, the Chinese Civil War ended, and the nationalist government was defeated. On the other hand, the temporary provisions stayed strong. Why didn't the KMT abolish it? You've already lost. What was the exact purpose of leaving it standing? What was that? What? Another unanswered question? Oh, baby, a triple. Under a period of time with no democracy, it wasn't only water cannons, tear gas, and armed police that stood in the way of freedom. You could be accused of breaking the law for no reason. Or even worse, you might not even have the chance to break the law ever again. However, in the 50s, there was still a group of people who fought against the nationalist government. Besides those in the provincial council, the only person who dared to fight against the single-party state was the one and only Lei Zhen. Lei Zhen was the chief editor of the Free China Journal. Not only did it criticize the nationalist government severely, it also strongly opposed Chiang Kai-shek's expanding power, saying that he could be the president on and on and on and on. 4 times? Seriously? This criticism pissed the nationalist government off, of course, so they took away Lei Zhen's party membership. In 1960, Lei Zhen wanted to form a new political party, the China Democracy Party. The nationalist government was raving mad. Lei Zhen, not being a gold member anymore, was accused and sentenced to 10 years in prison. In the 70s, Taiwanese citizens finally started to fight against the government. For example, the Zhongli incident, a riot in response to election fraud, and the Kaohsiung incident, the result of pro-democracy street demonstration. These are all examples of Taiwanese citizens fighting against the single-party state. Hold on, let's clarify something real quick. Speaking of Taiwan's democracy, you might assume that only Taiwanese fought for it, right? Actually, besides our own, foreigners campaigned hard as well. Some of the larger events put the KMT in a place where they were forced to compromise. Like in 1981, Dr. Chen Wencheng, a Taiwanese math professor in the US, came back to Taiwan for a family visit. But after a mysterious encounter with Taiwan's secret police, his body was mysteriously found on NTU campus. In 1984, Jiang Nan, a Taiwanese-American author, published an unauthorized biography of Jiang Jingguo that wrote quite a lot of things the Jiang family did not appreciate. So the government sent some mobs to the US and, took care of business. This incident, once again, was an international sensation that broke the internet! Apparently, that's not the only thing that got broke, but also the US government's temper. Pressure from foreign countries forced the nationalist government to compromise. Compromise how? In 1987, President Jiang Jingguo, under the rising demand for democracy and pressure from foreign authorities, not only promised that the Jiang family would not cling on to power anymore, he also ended the Taiwan martial law, which lasted for 38 years, putting all that in the books. But even after Taiwan's martial law was lifted, the 3 other laws we talked about rocked on hard. So hard, the Taiwanese finally went off. Violations of personal freedom popped out every day. Under the circumstances, the public was forced to fight back more aggressively. For example, the May 20th Peasant Movement, the Aboriginal Land Movement, and the Wu Feng statue incident were all attempts to challenge the nationalist government. Water cannons, tear gas, and armed police. These were just pebbles along Taiwan's bumpy ride to democracy. In 1990, the year I was born, Li Denghui met with the representative of the Wild Lily student movement, promising a constitutional reform act. So Taiwan in the 90s gradually became the Taiwan we know today. The 3 laws of the White Terror were either abolished or revised. Freedom of speech was gradually granted, and presidents gradually became people we can talk trash about. Congressional reformation, presidential elections, all signs showing that Taiwan is working its way to democracy. After all that talk, it seems like Taiwan has become a democratic country, doesn't it? But is Taiwan democratic enough? In recent years, there's been a rising number of social movements in Taiwan. From the way the government dealt with the Sunflower Student Movement, it doesn't make it super hard to doubt whether Taiwan really is a free country. How should we heal from the wounds the 228 incident and the ensuing White Terror has inflicted on us? What should we learn from the damage caused by a single-party state? Without proper regulations and supervision, is there a chance for a single-party state to see the light of day again? A country is supposed to serve its people. So, what are the do's and don'ts of a government? What are the cans and can'ts? We'll leave the answers to those questions for you guys to figure out. Alrighty, after all that talk, I'm a bit thirsty. After finishing this millet wine, we'll see you next time. Da!